force. We have details of all these stories and more, including business, sport, entertainment, all coming up within the next 1 hour. My name is Martin Asiedu-Dartey. The details of our stories now. The police in the central region earlier today paraded 4 key suspects who had been rounded up yesterday over the death of the murder of Captain Maxwell Mahama. All 4 suspects have so far been linked to the matter. The police is yet to proffer any charges against them. Spencer Mensah is a reporter in the central region and will be joining us shortly to give us an update of what has gone on since morning and where the suspects are. Spencer, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time.
Good afternoon, Martin.
Where specifically are you as we speak, and what can you tell us about the suspects?
Well, currently, we are at the Cape Coast Bacano Regional Divisional Police Office, where the Central Regional Minister, Honorable Kwame Nadankan, has been briefing as the media concerning the lynching of Captain Mahama, and he has expressed confidence in the police to leave no stone unturned in the ongoing investigation about the lynching of Captain Mahama, and has also said the one of the 5 that were arrested yesterday was unfortunately attacked by a gunshot during the lynching, and so he was referred to take medical attention, and now he's been transferred to the police station.
We were told earlier that there were 5. How come we are now reporting 4?
Yes, so the 4 are already in the region, are already at the police station, but the other one who suffered a gunshot during the lynching, that we are told that the late Captain Mahama, as part of trying to get himself freed from the attack, fired a gun at him. Is now also being transferred from the area to the police station here because he was referred to get medical attention before.
Okay. And what other arrangements have you been told by the minister?
Yes, that arrangement we are told is to do due investigation and make arrangements to bring all who are suspected before arrangements will be made for them to get to the court.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, and certainly we will be coming back to you in the coming days. But what we do know is that our reporters are clearly on the issue and are following keenly to give us updates. In a related development, though, the body of the late Captain Maxwell Mahama was lifted yesterday to the 37 Military Hospital. The officers from the Ghana Air Force lifted the body with their helicopter from the Upper Denchura district. And on your screens are the images we received from the scene when the chopper arrived to lift the body of the late captain, who was brutally, gruesomely murdered by some residents of the area. And information we also have is that the soldiers have not, according to information we have, the soldiers have so far not taken any issue into their hands, and that are just following due process for the police to investigate, because they do not want to meddle in the issue, although it is one of their men who fell to this gruesome act. A lot of questions have been asked, whether as a community, as a society, as Ghanaians, we have changed over time, and what is happening. Are we losing something? Is there a problem? How can we fix it if really there is a problem? We'll be delving into all of that when we speak to a psychologist, and a sociologist on the recent happenings of lynchings left, right, center. The Central Regional Police Command is holding 4 people right now, as we are told, in connection with the lynching of the military captain in Denchura of the Central Region. The military captain, Maxwell Mahama, was killed after locals mistook him, allegedly, for an armed robber. According to the regional commander, DCOP Ampabenim, the 4 have been transferred to the Cape Coast, and will be arraigned for prosecution later today. So he spoke to our reporter, Komla Kluche.
So far, what's the very latest on what you've gathered so far?
Before we came, the army, they have made the arrest. They arrested 80 women and 86 men. And then we found that the whole town too has been deserted. We came in, we met the Army General High Command at the airstrip, and I briefed them about the situation on the ground. And later on, there were some interviews which they didn't agree, and maybe through the DC, etc., this was corrected. We have vetted the people. Out of them, we have been able to arrest 5. Currently, as I speak to you now, 3 people are on their run. The assemblyman and 2 other women who are believed to have been involved, deeply involved in the lynching. So we are also sending message around that those who know their whereabouts should let us have them arrested so that we can continue our investigation. But the 5 we have arrested now, we are taking them to Cape Coast because the case we are going to handle it at the regional headquarters.
The 80 people that were swooped by the military, were they from this village?
But doesn't mean that we have let them off the hook. If there's any further information or evidence, we will call upon them so that we will continue investigation. But as for the 5, we've got concrete evidence that they were deeply involved. But those we have discharged now. It could happen that if there's further fresh evidence, we could rope them in.
And still on that particular development, our colleague Komla Kluche spoke to one of the suspects who had been arrested and added to the list of suspects who we are told have been sent to Cape Coast. So he interacted with him. Let's hear exactly what the suspect had to say.
Meni kunu ya no mo na we si
Enti anenti na wodwane ye
me nwane ko bia
chief mu ye ne den
me de ya wada na me firi kurim nti adwada no be 4:30 na me beduru ha nti beduru ya no mo chese o makum obi me so 4:30 me pian ko ba bia na mpe ba bi da nti anadwe na police for soldier for me fa me say
soldier ni no onnim no
me no
soldier ni no mu ye ne den
mimi jina se na me nsa gu me bo ana mo bo no de mo bo no mo bo ni nya so mi mo nyina
mo bo no oni mo
kunu me mo nyina me ni mo nyina
enti omo ha no omo kan
ba cho da bi ni wa bianca omo kan na adwane no.
These are the words of this suspect there. One is indicating that he knows very well the people who have been involved in the lynching of the military captain, and that he is ready to assist the police in all investigations. Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Diaso.
All right, so what we would want to do now as a station and as people is to do some introspection. We would want to remind you of some of the recent and past lynching reports that TV3 carried across the country. It is as a result of people just taking the law into their own hands and getting a suspect, killing someone with suspicion that either he has robbed or he has attacked someone. And just taking you back to as far back as 1998, 2 constables, Owusu Setre, alias Kweku Ninja, and Jerry Wuno, alias Tola, were murdered at Ablekuma, and they were buried there, and cement concrete splashed over them for them to dry in there. In 2007, the administrator of the Gosu Government Hospital, Anthony Yeboah-Boateng, was murdered on suspicion that he was part of a criminal gang, an administrator of a government hospital. And we would also recall that in 2011, a lady, suspected phone thief, known as Amina, was molested by University of Ghana students. These are people supposedly in a higher institution expected to know better. You know, attacking a lady very badly, inserting their fingers anywhere they find just because she had stolen a phone or was suspected to have been a thief. And just this year, in 2017, February that is, a young lady was also accused of having stolen money in a market area around Kejetia and was beaten stripped naked and was paraded barefooted on the streets of Kejetia here in Ghana. And with all these things happening, the question many are asking is, are we losing it as a people? Are we becoming barbaric? Are we getting back to the Stone Age? We have a sociologist with us, and we'll be putting some of these questions to him. But before that, let's speak to our man on the ground, that is Komla Kluche, to find out whether or not he's been able to gather some further information with regard to investigations. Komla, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon to you, Martin.
What else can you tell us with regard to happenings in the town?
Martin, the very latest is that DISEC has declared the assembly member of the area wanted. He is wanted in connection with the gruesome lynching of the military captain who was on some operation within the enclave. You are well aware what transpired over the past 2 days. DISEC is releasing. The police have made some arrests. Some 5 people have been arrested. The frustration is given us to that effect is that 4 of them have been taken to Cape Coast. The other one was allegedly shot by the late captain in the leg when he was having a scuffle with him. So he was not part of the people who were transported to Cape Coast. So he is receiving treatment at the Detroit Hospital. But within town, the situation is quite calm. There's no serious operation as it stands now, apart from the guardian of intelligence and all that's going on. But as it stands now, I tried clarifying from the district police commander on the issue of the presence of the military in the locality. Martin, the district police commander is insisting that the presence of the military is known to him as a district police commander. But the district chief executive is insisting that it is not known to DISEC officially, and there's no documentation anywhere of the presence of the military in the district. He said that he only knows of a court suit or a suit which previously has a copy that BNI officials and other security men from the district assembly had gone to a nearby forest where there's a mining company, CNG Alaska, that is supposed to be the mining site that the soldiers are or have been protected. I asked him whether it was a large-scale mining they were doing. He said, well, it's a small scale. But in the suit, Martin, it is revealing that in the suit against the regional crime officer, the BNI director, and then the Ghana Immigration Service in the district, the suit is stating that the plaintiff is a holder of a prospecting license issued by the government of Ghana in respect of the land which has been described within. The forest that has been talking about, the CNG Alaska mine, they have a prospecting license. And the prospecting license is not supposed to be used, according to the district chief executive, it's not supposed to be used by a big mining company. By his own investigations have revealed that this is galamsey or small-scale mining. He himself is confused with this that is going on in the locality. But he said the issue or the lynching is unfortunate, and that he will do everything within his power as the head of DISEC to ensure that the perpetrators. He also said he does not fear losing his job because he has stated what is the fact, and the fact is that he knows nothing about the military officially in the district. Martin.
Right. Komla, just to reiterate, you say they have declared the assemblyman wanted. How about the district chief executive, whom we were told has also, run out of the town?
Can you say that again?
The district chief executive, we are told, is also out of town. He's being looked for, but they cannot find him. You would recall that he was quite clear on various media that the soldiers were there to protect the illegal miners rather than to, stop them. So he's also one of the people we were told is being wanted. What can you tell us on that?
Martin, that's falsehood. I just spoke with the district chief executive about 10 minutes ago in his office. He's been there since morning. They have not voted. He has not gone anywhere. I have seen him with my naked eyes. Just about 10 minutes ago, we have just seen him. We've just moved from there and come to one of the Galamsey sites. That's here. And Martin, it is very disheartening to see the level of destruction that these people have caused. They are currently not working, but you can see the effect of the Galamsey within the area, which is just in town. This is in town, very much in town of the Diaso area here. Okay.
Komla, thank you so much. I will definitely be coming to you as the bulletin was on and in our subsequent bulletins to give us an update of the developments in the township. Komla Kluche is our man on the ground and is in the township. He's been there since yesterday when this news broke, and we will be going back to him for an update. As we speak, he says the assemblyman has been declared wanted by DISEC, that's the district Security Council. So we'll go back to him, and then also we'll get to see visuals of the destruction of Galamsey in the community, and then also how the township is looking like right now. So I just chronicled a few of the happenings top of our mind. Out of the many we have recorded as a country, the unfortunate lynching and beating up of people and molestation of suspects. And you know that the law says they remain suspect until a competent court declares them, as guilty. So why have we as a people become like that? I have a few guests with me in studio. I want to put a few questions to them. And then we'll find out whether as a country we have lost it. Are we going back into the Stone Age, or there is something amiss that we are not dealing with as a people? Good afternoon, gentlemen, and thank you very much for joining us. Let me introduce them properly. We have Dr. Obed Appiah. He's a sociologist with the University of Ghana, a sociologist and a lecturer with the University of Ghana. And then also Dr. Joseph Osafo. He's a clinical psychologist, and both of them have joined us in studio. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Good
afternoon. Let me start with you, Dr. Obed. How did we get here as a people? I recall growing up, whenever someone is suspected to have done something, yes, there's a few heckling here and there, but then the person is sent to either the chief's palace or the nearest police station. But it seems we are losing it. How did we get here? What happened?
Thank you very much. I think that is a very good observation you've made. And I was telling a colleague this morning that it is also a reflection of how our society and our social structure have broken down. And as you rightly said, I was saying that it also, for me, it comes back to the argument of people trying to run down the chieftaincy institution. I've heard several people say chieftains or chiefs are no longer relevant. And I told a friend this morning that I was thinking that in this situation, the first point of report would have been the chief's palace or the chief. And as I said, we all grew up, we all know how powerful chiefs were. So for me, it is a reflection of how gradually, in the name of modernization or modernity, we are taking away our institutions one by one, traditional institutions. And here we know that today, the chieftaincy institution, as I said, is one of the oldest institutions in our political system. Before even, I always tell people that even when the colonialists came, they saw the relevance of the institution, indirect rule. Why the British will use the chiefs as an intermediary between them and the colonies. So it's a reflection of how, even as intellectuals, at times we seem to say that chiefs are no longer relevant. So it has gotten to that stage that
where people disregard
the chieftaincy institution. Because I was saying to a friend this morning that even if the police were not there, I felt that, looking at the video, it was very sad that nobody, even among the people, would suggest that let's send this young man to the chief's palace to see whether he's either an alleged criminal or an innocent person. So for me, it's a reflection of part of what it can be traced back to our family values. Because see, the family system is not from the chieftain. Because when you become a chief, he's staying from a family. Right. So because gradually we're becoming more nuclear, we're becoming more individualistic, it is a reflection of how we now don't care about anybody. Because I don't understand how, if there's a functional chieftain institution, I don't see how this would have happened. So for me, it's a reflection
how do you think, I mean, we try to chronicle such events. And so let's say this one is far off in a village or, you know, a rural area. But let's come to the city center, like the University of Ghana. That is supposed to be a place for people to share knowledge. I mean, that's an institution respected. A marketplace in the city center, someone is molested and manhandled. So in these areas where, let's say, chieftaincy isn't, and the police should be the first point of call, why do you think people do not want to do that?
In fact, I hope my colleagues is here. In social psychology, we call it de-individuation. When people are in group setting, they seem to lose that sense of identity because they feel that nobody can identify them. So the urge to involve in what we call pro-social behavior becomes very higher. Because if you were alone, I can bet you he may not be able to touch that person. But because there are other people, 2 or 3 or 4 people, that edge becomes very higher because the sense that your individuality is lost. You get the point? So like that is a situation where group, so that's the group influence on the individual. So in that situation, the person feels that because, I mean, it's a group thing, how can you identify all the people getting me? They are more likely to involve. That is why I recall the point you made. And back then I was in Lagos when that happened. And it could say even intellectuals or students who are supposed to know better in that situation will lose their sense of identity and will be edged on to do whatever they do. And I was telling a colleague this morning that even in the video at time, even in the individuation, you may get some people who may still be against that. But I was amazed that in this video, none, even the woman who set fire with the young man, I was telling somebody that a woman should be compassionate and passionate about other people. So for me, it's a situation where people lose their sense of identity. And maybe the other thing I want to also add is the fact that it is also because of the fact that, you see, I know the arguments about the police, whatever, and maybe that means something we'll discuss later. But
we'll be coming back to that. But let me bring in Dr. Joseph Osafo here. How do you think the society, we'll be coming back to the individuals and the wife of the soldier and how she can manage this, but how do you think as a society we can manage pain? This question is premised on the fact that the town folk say that they have over the period been, you know, robbed and attacked by robbers, and so the slightest person they suspect, they would go out, full out at the person. But in this situation as a community, as a people, how do you think we can manage pain? And are we doing it the right way?
Thank you. So let me take it from where my colleague ended. First and foremost, inhibitions and the capacity to, if you like, hold back your feelings and the difficulties and the pains you've gone through is a gift. It's a capacity, we should not throw it away at all. As children grow, as people grow, they relate with people, they imbibe rules and laws. They're able to exercise inhibitions about certain choices. The difficulty is when there seems to be some perception that people have been traumatized in the past and nothing has been done about who did traumatize them. Then what happens is that they lose this inhibition. They lose the capacity to hold back. So people will say, all right, that's fine. If we didn't get anybody, let's put the laws into our hands. And a quick point again is a potential stimulus that is likely to transform just a mass, or yes, let's say a mass of people into a crowd. And not just a crowd, but a crowd with a purpose. So in this instance, you have a crowd that was intending to kill, and they have done so. And so I think that it's important to uncover the historical dynamics. What did go wrong in this village? Why did, for example, laws break down? What happened to them in the past? We told that they have experienced a lot of armed robbery attacks. And who did what? What were the security, agencies doing or the security apparatus traditionally, formally, have they been broken down? And then again, a quick thing to this issue of pain is that, you see, when people are exposed to, let me just say, potentially traumatic level of pain, when the inhibitions are broken down, they don't care again. The sense of meaning and the reason for which one will say, okay, let me hold back and find out, like Doc was rightly saying, let's go to the Chief's Palace. It is like a threat to their existential meaning of life. When somebody comes to my home, boggles me, destroys my child, my daughter, takes very expensive things away, and the person goes scot-free. And I remember in the past...
So then it boils back to the fact that state institutions like the police may not be doing enough to ease some of these pain or get to the bottom of the issue.
And that is very important. And I keep saying that over the years, anytime we have had these things, we've only had just state security or apparatuses working. They completely sideline social scientists. It's quite interesting. No sociologists are involved, no psychologists are involved, and you don't build a nation like that.
Okay, we'll come back to wrap up on how the family should handle this, and from the social point of view, how you think the military can handle this, so it doesn't de-escalate. But the Interior Minister, that is Asiedu-Dartey, has also been commenting on this. Let's listen to what he has to say, then we'll come back to wrap up this interview.
Killing of this CAP officer is barbaric, cruel, unjust, and totally unacceptable. And I can assure you that in consonance with what Mr. President Nana Akufo-Addo has said, we are going to pursue the investigation with all seriousness and bring to book all those who are responsible. We are not intimidated by those acts. Capital offenses such as murder, where there is some more, because you must identify the person whose blow or whose act led directly to the death of the person. Yes, but you convict people for righteous behavior, yes, and the cases are not over. We are calling on all of you who have those videos that show it was in the courtroom to bring them. Bring them right now. I'm going to the office. Bring the videos that relate to the court. We have seen videos that relate to the road. But if you have videos in the court, bring them. We have asked that the renewed, the further investigation must include taking statements from all the court officials. And I'm saying, we are inviting, including the minority, bring us a video in the court. We think that if there is an offense, suspects must be arrested. But the suspects must be dealt with according to law. Any other way out is what we have now, that people take the law into their own hands. Yes, people commit offenses, but the law requires that they are taken in, statements are taken from them, they are given a day in court, due process, before any punishment can be meted out. If, because we want to go by the rule of law, a few incidents have happened that suggest that there is lawlessness, I can only assure you that it is a fluke, because in the end we'll do the right thing. Investigation is not by the military. It's going to be by the police, CID, that will do so. So whatever happened first, yes, had to do it. You are going to a place that we know is a Galamsey area, that we've had threats of citizens telling us that we are going to go in 3 days, and if you want, come and meet us. It will be stupid for us to go into that area without force.
All right, so that is Interior Minister Asiedu-Dartey sharing his position on it, and I think it goes back to that same debate of what the state institutions can do to at least ensure that we get to the bottom of some of these things. But I mean, that is a discussion for another day. Let me come to you, Dr. Asafo. In conclusion, how can the wife of this, decorated soldier deal with the pain?
So a few things quickly. This is a trauma. Definitely their resources are threatened and overwhelmed, and they may be exposed to some psychological difficulties like acute stress disorder, and a couple of days or maybe into a month developing something like post-traumatic stress disorder. But there are a few things they can do. One is that the family must bond together. Bonding is very helpful. They must deal with the pain together. Parents, if they, I don't know whether the gentleman is married or not.
He's married
but
with
if
two
he's married
beautiful
with 2 kids,
children.
and so the kids will be definitely traumatized. And they need to bond together. The adults will have to get to the kids and find a way of, telling them of what happened. If they can do that, it's important to look out for the nearest hospital. They can get psychological services. The other thing is that if they belong to any religious group, and I want to call on churches in the area, if there are pastors there, they are very helpful in this time. They can go there and provide some kind of services that will mollify and reduce the pain. And the third and final thing is that, please, I see this horrifying video going on social media that's quite terrifying. Anybody who is related to this family, when he or she sees such videos, they are just relieving the pain.
Reignite the pain.
So we shouldn't be doing that. I think that we have said this over and over when we have people killing themselves, attempting suicide and killing themselves. We should be careful how we send these messages. They are dangerous. They can threaten the person's sense of existence, and they can make some become suicidal. We should simply be sensitive.
And Dr. Appiah, I mean, from your perspective, as a society, what do we think we can do to curb the recurrence of some of these things?
I think that is something that all of us need to look at. I believe that, first of all, we must learn to be each other's keeper. And also, secondly, as I said, the traditional society was very powerful in that. But because we become more individualistic, I also want to talk about the role of the state agencies. Personally, I have always said that the security agencies at times also make people, as Doc said, for example, I had experience recently where in one of my invigilation at the Workers' College, a thief was caught coming to steal students' mobile phone. And the workers wanted to be there, I have to come in. And the argument was that that same person 2 years ago came there to steal a mobile phone. So you see, their pain, as he said, was that this person went scot-free. So I think that we have to look at the criminal justice system. When people are arrested, at the time I hear the police tell you the people report their case are no longer ready to come in. What can we do as a society? At time we see a lot of these cases quickly done. Can with the judiciary, fast track some of these cases, so that people don't have pain that somebody came to, because some of these things, they've got a pain in people. That somebody stole my jeans in my drying line. So if I see anybody being caught as a thief, I'll join in too. So I think that as a society, we must also try to make sure that we don't attack people until the people are proven guilty, as you have said.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Obed Appiah. He is a sociologist and a lecturer at the University of Ghana. And then also Dr. Joseph Osafo, he is a clinical psychologist. Both have been helping us understand the social context and the individual context of some of these happenings and how come we are even here as a people. Thank you very much again, gentlemen. We'll be calling on you, hopefully, in the coming days to see how we can continue the education to ease the pain and let people know the right things to do. This is still Midday Live on TV3, and we are staying on the subject matter because the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Obi Akwa, led a high-power delegation, you would recall, to the area and also met the family of the late captain at his residence at Burma camp on Tuesday, that was yesterday. And so just want you to see and hear what he told them when he visited them.
The purpose of the visit was to mourn and share the pain with the family about the gruesome killing of their beloved. The CDS expressed his heartfelt condolences to the family and assured them the perpetrators would be brought to justice.
So far, I think we are making progress. We are making progress. We are making progress in that we have identified physically on those who were involved. We have also got electronic cover those who were also involved. I have no doubt that these people will be picked up. So I'm waiting for the next secret, which should be coming in the next year. For us to identify them, put them before the law, so that the whole Ghana will see the consequences of this brutal murder
He added that the officer's name will never be lost in the annals of the Ghana Armed Forces and that he would be remembered at all times, advising them to exercise restraint during this difficult time. He also gave the assurance that the armed forces would do everything possible to support the bereaved family.
And before we take a quick breather, I would want to tell you what the key voices in the country have been saying. Former Lieutenant Rawlings, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, has spoken. He's a former president of the Republic as well. Says that when the law does not seem to give people justice, such acts of cruelty resulting in the unfortunate loss of innocent life is the end result. I call on the security agencies and the law courts to inspire confidence in the populace by acting swiftly and effectively when crimes are committed in our communities. And also, former President John Dramani Mahama also spoke. He says, my heart goes out to my brother, Captain Chabi Adam Mahama, retired, on the murder of his son, Captain Maxwell Mahama. And then also the sitting president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in 3 different tweets indicated that his condolence to the family of Captain Maxwell Mahama on their tragic loss. Also indicated, I assure them that the perpetrators of this heinous crime will be arrested and dealt with in accordance with the laws of the country. So those are some of the key voices in the country with regard to governance. They've shared their thoughts on it. We'd also want to hear from you. What do you think? Let us know on our various social media platforms. We'll share it with the rest of the world. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Thank you very much for staying with TV3. We are moving on to business, and this afternoon we want to announce that vehicle owners will, from the 1st of July this year, pay towing fees when registering their vehicles or renewing for roadworthy certificates at the Driver's Vehicle and Licensing Authority, that's the DVLA. The move is to remove disabled vehicles from the roads. Broken down vehicles on roads contribute 25% of total road accidents in the country. And we have been joined in studio by DSP Alexander Obeng. He is the Director of Research and Training at the MTTD. We'll put a few questions to him because when we first put out this story, especially on our website, varied reactions started pouring in. And we'll put some of the concerns to him. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon.
What has necessitated the payment of this toll? And wouldn't you want to do some public announcement before we start for people to understand why they have to pay for it?
Thank you very much. And good afternoon to viewers and listeners. I think, first of all, on behalf of my department, my departmental head and our personnel at the department, we also want to express our deepest condolences to my colleague, Captain Mahama's family, among others. And we hope the speedy justice will be done with regard to the policing investigation ongoing. I think, first of all, with regard to the delivery of services for the protection of public health and safety, the Motor Traffic and Transport Department plays a major role, and we do that in consultation with other stakeholders and support. And we cannot do anything without road safety and DVLA, and even all road users, including vehicle owners. And one of our major role is to ensure that when vehicles are stuck on our roads, or as a result of either just purely leaving it there, or it's faulty, or there's an accident, among others, such vehicles are quickly removed so that it doesn't become a trap for other road users. Because we know that it's impacting negatively on lives and properties on our roads in Ghana. That if, let's say, 100 Ghanaians are killed on our roads, 25 of the fatalities will definitely be attributed to their vehicle getting crashed into a disabled vehicle. So it is something that we are looking forward to get that necessary support and logistical or whatever to able to tow it. So it's necessary. No wonder when the law was being considered for amendment in 2012, the state Ghana, through Parliament, ensured that a new system to support traffic police officers with the injection of a private entity that has the wherewithal to come in and support us. And
okay.
Since then, there has been sustained sensitization. And I think it's also a reason why you've called me. The sensitization
as part of the education
yes.
process. The key concern for many is what went into the amount, agreeing on the amount to be paid by the various vehicle owners.
I think, first of all, Parliament considered it, because the police, I hardly do I go to Parliament to get this, but I believe it was depending on your frequency of use of the road and the capacity in terms of and then what the vehicle is used for, because there are some vehicles that are privately owned and they are used for private purposes. They don't normally frequent on the road. There are also some that depend on the road as their office to deliver services and also to get some fees, and either to carry passengers for fee or to freight goods among others. And we also have those that are also not big in terms of sizes, and like motorcycles and those other saloon vehicles and all that. So all these were was in a potpourri, and they agreed to ensure that you pay depending on the use of the road and the weight. And so smaller vehicles like motorcycles paid fewer.
And then the bigger,
yes, that's it. And the commercial was
from
paid.
July. Up until when must every vehicle pay?
I think with the arrangement that the state has made through Parliament is that when it's rolled out finally, your next registration of your vehicle or your next renewal date is when the vehicle owner will be forthcoming with the payment of the road safety fee for the state. But the arrangement by Parliament is that the easiest way for us, for the state to ensure that these monies are collected, is through the DVLA system. So it's not for DVLA. It's a road safety fee of the state, meant to ensure that we rid our road of broken down vehicles. But that the owner of the vehicle, be it motorcycle or motor vehicle or passenger carrying or goods carrying, will pay it when it's going for the next service at the DVLA. So
far as I pay, if my car breaks down, I'll get treatment. I'll get a towing service.
I think yeah, we expect so, because as at now, when your vehicle breaks down, you are supposed to call police. In town 1 hour, on highway 2 hours, and we are supposed to come to remove it and charge you a very high fee. But even that, we don't have the money. That is the old law is, but we don't have the capacity. The state hasn't got the capacity. Okay. And that's why it's invited, and that it's expected that the one who is coming to deliver these services on behalf of the state in the steps of police will ensure that 1 hour in town, when the call goes, is supposed to move, and on highway within 2 hours, when the call comes, that vehicle will have to be delivered, told, and that service delivered free of charge, and to a very safer place, so that the road will be free flowing, so that
devoid of accidents,
nobody will be crashed.
All right, we've been speaking with DSP Alexander Oben. He is the director in charge of research and monitoring the Motor Transport and Traffic Department of the Police Service. So from the 1st of July, we're going to start paying tolls so that when your vehicle breaks down, it can be towed. Details of this is on our website. We'll also keep educating you to know what to do at what time. We'll be back with sports. Stay with us.
Campaign, meaning that players will just commit from their various homes and then to the training ground, that's Accra Sports Stadium. But next week the team will shift or move the camping base to Kumasi, and so we'll have full training session from Monday 4 o'clock till the match day. And so for this week, it's just a non-residential campaign because the players are on holidays. And so we need to allow them some bit of space to also see to their families and all that. In the month of June, players need some rest. And so that is why we want to create some flexibility in their schedules.
And we'll move on to our next story, where the future of Ghana's young generations look good ahead of the national under-17 team, the Black Starlets, after they enticed many with their talent at the just ended under-17 Africa Cup of Nations tournament in Gabon. Already, many of those young players have been contacted through their agents by some clubs in Europe to recruit them. And Amankwa finds out what sort of future the players are looking forward to. We all know what will happen with the likes of Eric Eya, the likes of Emmanuel Toku, who are all promising players to feature for the Black Stars in the next 3 to 5 years. Meanwhile, the Black Starlets returned home from the Africa Under-17 Championship to a big welcome at the Kotoka International Airport. Among the big welcome party was our own Nanekia Amankwa.
This was a winner's arrival in many ways for a team that finished second. Organized fan groups, the media, and executive committee members of the Ghana Football Association and the Black Stars coach Kwesi Appiah cramped into the arrival hall of the Kotoka International Airport to welcome the Black Starlets from Gabon. The team finished second behind Mali and will be back at the Under-17 World Cup after a 10-year absence. Coach of the side, Pakwesi Fabian, is already looking forward to that.
We want to go and show ourselves very strong in the World Cup. We want to start early because the tournament is from 5th October. As you are in May, somebody might think that, oh, it's far away, but it's not far. There will be 1 or 2 inclusions here and there. We'll be looking at players from Right to Dream because when we were leaving, they had trouble, so we didn't get their players. We have some boys from Final and things like that. We'll bring all of them on board and then make a final strong team to represent the country in the World Cup, where we hope to do well.
Current Ghana boss Kwesi Appiah said he had been impressed with what he saw in Gabon, but insists the real work begins now.
Individually, many of them were really good, and then as a team, they played tactically well. So it's up to the coach to sit down and analyze the whole games and look at where there were lapses and make sure that he puts things together. But the other part of it is they are young players that we need to still keep monitoring them.
Many of the players are hoping they can build on from here. Stories of interest from some of the biggest clubs in the world abound. And one of the team's best players, Emmanuel Toku, is already hoping he can cash in as quickly as possible.
I've heard so many clubs buy, always with my manager. He said he would deal with them. I target to play in Europe, big club, to show myself that I'm also a talented person coming up.
Many Ghanaians will be hoping whatever choices they make, many of the players go on from here to become big football stars.
That's all the sports here on Midday Live. My name is Nana Kojo Afre. Back to you, Martin.
Thank you very much, Nana Kojo Afre. Okay, so let's find out what's happening. Time for entertainment news, and this afternoon, dancehall star Shatta Wale has paid tribute to the late Captain Maxwell Mahama, the military officer who was murdered by a mob in Dentre Obuasi in the early hours of yesterday.
They pay me up, say these things they happen up. Ghana, where is your love? Where is your love? One day born, one day gone. At the cries, I sing this song.
The late Captain Mahama was lynched by a mob on May 29. Shatta Wale on Wednesday joined thousands of Ghanaians to call for justice for the late officer, who was a member of the 5th Infantry of the Ghana Armed Forces. The tribute song expresses regrets and castigates mob action, describing the late captain's death as extremely cruel.
That thing touch my heart, bro. I know the fee, I know the fee watch. I hear say you call, but nobody there to save you, bro. Oh, Maxwell, Adam, Mama, we truly sorry, oh. Ghana is really sorry, oh.
Ghana, something is wrong. How come? If you have love in your hearts, you will not do this, the song said, urging Ghanaians to join the fight for justice. The Justice for Mahama song urges the public to wise up and say no to mob action.
I just want to send a message to the family of Maxwell Adam Mahama, the wife.
And we join the voices to say may his soul rest in perfect peace, but we must get to the bottom of this investigation and say no to mob justice or mob action. That's how we wrap up the bulletin. But later this evening, TV3 has joined the challenge. We have accepted it, the ladder challenge, and we will be unleashing our video on you later today. Follow the ladder challenge, which is going viral around the world. So be on the lookout for it later this evening on News 360. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Martin Asiedu-Dartey. Do have a pleasant afternoon. And as always, stay positive. Bye for now.